Hello everyone, welcome from Pi International Education. In this video, we are going to be looking at a couple of tips that you can apply in your GED test, specifically the GED Science or GED Social Studies test. Now, when you're giving the GED test, one of the most important things for you to keep in mind are how the questions are designed. Because if you can understand how the questions are written, then by just understanding the question, you can find your answer. For example, there will be questions related to inferences. So let's take a look at what inferences are. Now, inferences are logical assumptions, meaning the direct information is not provided to you, but based on whatever context or information is provided in the question, you will have to assume your answer. And your assumption would have to be logical, right? So based on the evidences, based on the examples, based on whatever is provided in the question, you will figure out your answer. Now let's take a look at the question and let's take a look at the options so that we understand exactly what inferences are. Now let's take a look at this question here. The question says, last year, 70 of the 100 students passed in the annual examinations which took place in the city center. So from the question or from the passage, we can understand that there were 70 students who participated in an exam out of 100 total students, and the exam took place in the city center. 70 students passed, right? So the question is, based on the text, what inference can be made about the students? So the question requires us to find out an inference. Remember, we said that inferences are not actually statements provided in the question, or they are not correct statements, but rather inferences are only those statements which can be made by an assumption, meaning the information is not provided in the text. Only the information that we can derive from the text are inferences. So let's have a look at the options. A, 70 students passed. As you can see here, this option is directly supported by the passage. The passage does say that 70 students passed. So this is 100% correct. But this is not our correct answer because this is provided in the passage. We are not assuming this information. We're not having to logically guess our answer. So this is not an inference. It is directly provided in the passage. B, 100 students gave the exam, which is also correct. 100 students gave the exam. So this is also correct, but this is not our correct answer. C, exam was taken at the city center, which is also correct because the exam was in fact taken at the city center. But this is not our correct answer as well, because all of these information, even though they are absolutely correct and coincides with the passage, they are not inferences. The last question says 30 students failed. This is the correct answer. Why? Because I am having to logically assume that 30 students failed. Why? Because 70 students passed out of the 100 students who gave the exam, and the 30 students are not mentioned here, but we can logically assume that even though 70 students passed, because there were 100 students, 30 students probably failed. So did you get the idea here? We are having to assume our correct answer. So whenever you get a question which asks you to find out an inference, keep in mind that out of the options, majority of them will be correct, majority will be supported by the passage, but those will not be the correct answer, even though they will seem very probable. So your correct answer will be only the ones that can be assumed, but not properly found in the passage. So I hope this video was very helpful for you, and best of luck for your GED tests. Thank you very much.